1 minute and I'll get started. Okay, hi everybody. I know we got a whole bunch of you already on the webinar, so please type in. Hi Sherry from Minnesota. I know you. Hi Jim. And those of you that are starting to join on Facebook or watching the recording, please type in. I always go back and read your comments and say hi to you, so I love that. So type in who you are, where you're from. And I love to get to know who's on the webinar and on the Facebook Live. So I try to do them both. I'm looking at both cameras at the same time. So my name is Danielle Daniel, and I live here in sunny San Diego, California, and I love essential oils. I've been using essential oils over 20 years now. And really what got me excited about essential oils is when I started using them within my clinical practice. I'm a licensed mental health clinician doing my doctorate in clinical psychology too. And as I started using them, my patients responded so well. I'm like, oh my goodness, plants totally work for our body. They're meant for our body. They were created for our use. And so I started studying how we can use these for different things. Hello, Pat from Walnut, California. Hi, Marcia from Kansas, and Libby. Hello from Chicagoland. Janet from San Diego. Hi, Janet. Hi, Tracy that just joined. I'm seeing some of you joining on the Facebook Live. So for those of you who watched my Flip-Flop Mindset Mondays, or if you don't know about those, you can join me Mondays at 4. I do a flip-flop mindset, and it's all just about empowering us and just having a better way and a higher way of thinking. So I figured out the webinar jam today, so it works now, but it wasn't working yesterday. So hello, Linnea in San Diego. Hi, Marianne. Hello, Haley from Australia. Oh, hopefully it's not too late or early for you over there. And Alicia. Hi, you got lots of you guys joining in. Thanks for chatting with me. I love to stay connected with you. And what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, I actually have a pretty strong passion for, because this was one of the major things I was dealing with when I started using doTERRA essential oils. So for those of you who are watching who may not know much about essential oils, you know that I post about them and I'm passionate about them. So I've used oils for 20 years, and I started having a lot of health issues about, how long ago was that now? Gosh, probably, about 10 years ago, I started having health issues. But about 5 years in, I got introduced to doTERRA. And my friend had introduced me to doTERRA oils, but I just had said I already have oils. I had been using them for 20 years. It's 8 a.m. Haley says in Australia. Awesome, not too bad. Hey, that's awesome. I'm glad you're on, Haley. So anyway, I started having all these health issues, just little things, little by little, stuff with my gut, and especially stuff with my hormones. And I had oils and I was using them, but they just weren't, really taking care of the issue. So I was going and getting some testing done and just couldn't figure out what was going on with the gut. And then also I started doing some natural remedies for my hormone balancing. And what I did was used, what do you call those, bioidenticals, which are usually horse hormones, and it's estrogen and phytoestrogen, or progesterone, sorry. So anyway, I started using those. I had actually tried the Western medical route and even tried the pill, but none of that helped. So I got off that and was doing the bioidenticals, and it didn't really work so well for me. So anyway, back to my story about the essential oils. So my friend, I finally decided to try doTERRA. So those of you who are on here who have not tried doTERRA, I recommend, I know you've probably heard the buzz about it, that you talk to the person who invited you, and if that was me, message me. And let's talk about how we can get you started with just trying these oils, because this is what made the biggest difference for me. Like I said, I already had oils. It didn't work like it did with doTERRA, and there's a reason why. Hi, Anna. So what happened was I started using doTERRA's oils, and I was like, oh my gosh, my body started responding. It was like, it's like, when you eat like something really unhealthy and your body just feels sluggish. Well, that was how I was feeling, even though I was eating healthy. And then when you eat something healthy, you just feel good. It was like that. I put the oils on my body. I put them in, and I just all these different things, and my body just responded, and I got so much better in so many ways with my gut health and my hormones. And that's what I'm going to share with you. Who is this? Charlie. Hi, Charlie from South Carolina, it looks like, and Lori from Michigan. And Janet, yep, best oils in the world, right? And that's the thing, is I tell people, you don't have to believe me. Go ahead and just try them. So those of you who are watching this video, maybe you're watching it like a year later, connect with the person who referred you to her, or connect with me, because we want to help you make those changes. So let's go to what I'm going to talk about today, and that is on hormone health for women and products. My Product Talk Tuesdays, I really focus on products that doTERRA does because, like I said, they have this quality of the essential oils that they're producing called certified pure therapeutic grade. And what that means is they're really making sure that the oils are preserved as they are in nature, meaning they're potent and pure. Pure meaning no pesticides, no toxins, no fillers. They're really just literally the essential oil in that bottle. And then potency, this is really a key. Potency means that they're studying the plants from around the world, where they grow the best, that have compounds that actually have an effect in the body. So lavender is my best example. It grows all over the world, right? Many places anyway. Grows a lot in the United States. But when you do a quality analysis on the lavender that's from France compared to the lavender in the United States, you have higher compounds of linalool and linalool acetate that actually have an effect on the body, like calming and helping with sleep, with anxiety, all sorts of things. So that's what doTERRA does. They're not just, well, here's a cheap farm, we can grow it ourselves. They're like, no, where does it have compounds that have an effect? So this is what made the difference for me with hormone balancing. So back to my journey, and let's go into products that help with hormone balancing. This is not just for women. It is definitely more prevalent in women, but boys need to be aware of this as well. So please share this with your boyfriends, your boys that are friends, or your kids. So here's what you need to know. So I had a lot of hormone disruption. I was having a lot of issues. I was seeing it throughout almost the entire month. And also I had tried the, what do you call those things again? The pill. And I did that for like 6 months, didn't do anything for me to help balance. And then I went to natural remedies. And the natural remedies I tried first were the bioidenticals. So that's usually a horse hormone. And mine were estrogen and progesterone that I tried. And it just didn't, I could definitely feel a difference with those, but it really messed it up for me. And here's, it made things just, I'm trying to think how I say all this. It basically made my symptoms like just go a little crazier and start sooner on my period, and it just kind of whacked things out for me. So I definitely noticed it was doing something, but it wasn't regulating me. And that's what I wanted, was some modulation, some balancing. So what I did is I actually ended up getting off of those. And I decided, okay, then I got into doTERRA oil. So it was kind of like a progression. And I got into doTERRA oils, and I was like, well, I might as well see if these will work. So bioidenticals, one thing about those is they can be helpful, but they actually, they are a hormone. So what happens when you put a hormone in your body? Hi, Angelique. Hi, Rosalba. Luna. Hi, Luna, I should say. What happens when you put something in your body that is supplementing it, like melatonin or hormones? It's just giving it to your body, which can be helpful for a moment, but your body doesn't produce it. It thinks it has it, so you don't encourage the body to produce it, like melatonin, for example. There's better things you can do for sleep than melatonin, because it just gives it to you, and then your body's like, oh, I can be a little lazy here. So remembering that, so that's why the bioidenticals I'm not a big fan of, except for maybe a time period that you just need to kind of regulate and get some other things going. I get that. But why not use something that helps your body produce it itself? So there's 3 types of estrogens. Let's talk about those, and then I'll go into the products that help. So the last couple weeks on my other product talks, I've been talking about compounds that cause major endocrine disruptors in the body, okay? So there's 3 types of estrogens. One are your normal estrogens that just are produced in your body. Those are your healthy, good estrogens. There's a second one called phytoestrogen, which are estrogen helpers from plants. And then the third one is called xenoestrogens. Who knows what xenoestrogens are? Anybody? Let's see if we... So I've got my notes here. I'm going to look at some of those. But xenoestrogens is an actual chemical, a synthetic chemical that mocks estrogen in the body. And it causes, it's a major endocrine disruptor. So this is your parabens. These are like, what do you call those things? Pesticides, phthalates, things like that, that cause estrogen or endocrine disruption in the body. And it messes up your estrogen. So what happens, we have estrogen receptor sites, right? And so we take these, or we get, like, if we microwave plastic, that causes xenoestrogens. There's a lot of things that we need to avoid with xenoestrogens, harmful chemicals, synthetic chemicals. Hi, Brianna. Hi, Margaret. Saying hi to everybody. Hi, Michelle. So as you have these estrogen receptor sites, right? Xenoestrogens are so strong, okay? So let's compare using lavender to a sleeping pill. When you take a sleeping pill, what happens? It knocks you out, right? It just forces an effect in the body. Sometimes that can be helpful. It's just not healthy. Lavender helps relax and calm the body, doesn't knock you out. You're not groggy the next day, okay? So think of xenoestrogens same way. They're very, very strong. They're like bullies. And they're just going to come in and knock out any normal estrogen in the body and take over those receptor sites. What they're finding is a lot of these xenoestrogens are then causing an effect with breast cancer and other types of issues within the body, with causing major disruption, overabundance of estrogen, but it's actually xenoestrogen, which is a very unhealthy estrogen the body cannot handle. So that's your xenoestrogens, okay? The third estrogen that we do not want. So there's a lot of easy ways you can get rid of those. Make sure you use natural products that come from plants, okay? Don't be using stuff that have propylene glycol, phthalates, like I said, parabens and pesticides. That's why I buy only organic. When you're eating things that have had pesticides on them and grown like a GMO with a pesticide, what does it do to your body? You're ingesting a pesticide. So just do what you can, avoid those types of things. When we go out to eat, it's hard to find organic. So what I do in my house is make sure that, like, in my home, it's 100% organic, no chemicals, nothing that is really harmful for my body. So that when I go out to eat, which may be 20% of the time, right, an 80-20 diet, I'm not stressed over the fact that most likely their food's not organic unless I go to a specific organic restaurant. So that's how I don't want you stressing your life. If you start stressing over just only eating organic, that can be harmful as well. So 80-20 diet, making sure your home, when you're using soaps, all that kind of stuff, has no chemicals in it, so that when you're in a public bathroom, you're not stressed over the one, option that you have available, which is their soap. So cutting out xenoestrogens, that's huge. The second thing is adding in phytoestrogens so that it can help also eliminate, it binds to those xenoestrogens and helps them get rid of from your body, but helps them stop. They bind to the receptor site, so it stops the xenoestrogens from bonding to that receptor site. So phytoestrogens, and they help promote balancing of your own estrogen and progesterone in your body. And these are plants. A lot of plants have this. Lavender is a phytoestrogen. Soy is a phytoestrogen. There's a lot of misconception about soy, you guys. And yeah, thank you, Jerry. Too, 80-20 is a very good moderation to have. So anyway, soy, if you, non-GMO, I'm not talking about GMO soy, horrible, because you're looking at a pesticide grown within that soy plant. But non-GMO soy is a phytoestrogen. It's actually very healthy for the body, so make sure it's non-GMO. And then some other plants, and this is one product, the first product I'm going to talk about is called the phytoestrogen supplement by doTERRA. If you guys can see that. I know there's a little glare with my window open, probably glare all over my face too with the video, but so this has soy and flaxseed and pomegranate. These are all phytoestrogen supplements, or phytoestrogen plants that help your body to balance estrogen, balance progesterone, and help to bind to those receptor sites so that you're kicking out xenoestrogens from taking over in your body. So this is a supplement. I love this supplement. I'm going to tell you my story about how I used it at the end. But you do I don't even know the dosage. I think it's 2 capsules a day, 1 to 2 capsules a day. So I take of these 1 capsule a day, and then on the week before my cycle, I do 2 capsules a day. And it really helps with that week when hormones are just going a little swampy, we'll just say. So phytoestrogen supplement, I highly recommend this. This is even good for men. They're not going to start menstruating, so don't worry about that. But it will help with getting rid of the xenoestrogens that we're all exposed to. We don't need those type of xenoestrogens in our body. So this also helps with balancing cholesterol. So the next supplement, or not supplement, but products I'm going to talk about is my favorite essential oils that help with, that are phytoestrogenic, and that they help with balancing hormones in the body. The first one is Lang Lang. It's if you can see that. Lang Lang is the most beautiful flower. It comes from Madagascar. That's where doTERRA gets it. And let's see, Jane, is this good wisdom? Yes, to have for menopause. Absolutely. This is really all this entire protocol, because plants are so balancing for the body. This is great for teenage girls through menopause. I absolutely recommend. I've had amazing results with women help with this. And so I'll get back to the cholesterol question at the end, because that's in my notes here. I'll have to look that up. So anyway, Lang Lang, and then the other one is geranium. I'm going to show you the 3 and show you the regimen I did. So you can see that, geranium and clary sage. These are 3 oils that are highly phytoestrogenic. And what I started to do when to work on my regimen is I started using these 3, and I did them every single day, morning and night, on the bottom of my foot, on the big toe, because remember, the big toe is the brain point. So I would just do like 1 drop of geranium in my hand, put it on my bottom of like maybe one of my feet, so like my left foot or something, and rubbed it in the big toe. Then I did a drop of Lang Lang in the other hand and put it on the other foot and rubbed it on the big toe. And then I would do clary sage just, on either one. I didn't really do a major regimen. I don't think it matters so much, but you do want to put it on both feet. But I just kind of did back and forth wherever, but on the bottom of that big toe. And I started rubbing those in every single day. I did this for a good 4 months, but what's interesting is as I was using the phytoestrogen supplement and doing these, and then one more that I'm going to show you, the Clary Calm, as I started doing those, with month 1, I noticed a slight difference. It was almost like, well, maybe this was just a good month and that's just coincidence, right? Month 2, I noticed a definite difference. I'm like, wow. So my mood balances, the emotions, because how many of you get like emotional during your, I start crying over like a commercial. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. And so that's when I know, oh my gosh, I've got hormone stuff going on, which isn't bad necessarily, but the part that was hard was the irritability, and we're women, and it's like, I'm a normal, happy, bubbly type person, and that's that 1 week. But for me, it was like 3 weeks it was happening, but that, 1 week especially was like, oh my gosh, where I just get irritated over things that normally I could care less about. Just know that's human. That's hormones. It's not you. And there are things we can do to modulate that. And now I don't get those symptoms. Maybe one day, but not much. And it's amazing. When I used to have it for 3 weeks, I had all those symptoms. And now it's just maybe a day, but not even that usually. It's awesome. So yes, Angelique, thanks for typing that in. It's Lang Lang, geranium, clary sage. So I started doing that, and with the phytoestrogen. And so like I said, month 2, I definitely noticed a difference. By month 3, I was feeling really good. Month 4, and then I felt like the 4-month rule really works. I did it for 4 months, and my hormone balancing with these things was working so amazing. I didn't have the 3 weeks, let alone even the 1 week anymore of those symptoms. And what I love about that is that it's a natural progression, okay? And I also could cut out xenoestrogens. I threw away anything that had parabens in it. Don't keep that stuff around. You don't need it. Remember the 80-20, 100% in your home, control what's in here. And then when you're out in the public, in the community, it's just, you gotta live. You don't wanna be stressed out. If you have major sensitivities going on, you may have to stress about that and be 100% of the time everywhere. But that's what I did. It worked for me. About month 4, because I was doing so good, I kind of forgot to keep doing my little regimen. And what I noticed the next month, I was still fine. And that's what I love about the oils, and what I was talking about, like bioidenticals or melatonin, for example. It's not a hormone, but just when you start supplementing, it makes your body stop producing it. Essential oils and plants actually help your body produce it itself. It's promoting the production. It's not replacing the production. So that's what you want to do, is do these little regimens. And then the last thing that I wanted to, well, there's 2 things I would recommend, but Clary Calm is an oil blend. And I still use this today. So if I'm ever feeling just a little bit of hormone stuff come on, I'll open this little roller and I'll put a little swipe on both pulse points around the neck. And it immediately, within 30 seconds, I can notice a difference where anything that's mood-wise related to hormones, it calms down. I'm like, oh, okay, back to normal, back to feeling like, me. So put it on your pulse points. That's where it can take through the through the blood, take it to the brain, and you want this going to the brain. So this is actually a blend of clary sage, lavender, bergamot, chamomile, cedarwood, ylang-ylang, geranium, fennel, carrot seed, palmarosa, and vitex. So all of these are very phytoestrogenic. So in theory, you could use this on the bottom of your big toe instead of doing the 3. But this is what I did for some reason, and it really worked for me. And then I carry this. I do not travel without this. Anytime I'm feeling stressed, I just put this on. Anytime I'm feeling hormonal, just put this on. And it works amazing. I'm going to tell you another story about that in a minute. But okay, bone nutrient, last one. Women especially, we're such at risk for osteoporosis and things getting pulled, calcium being pulled from our bones. There's lots that you can do, but this is a great extra calcium supplement that has magnesium and calcium, so it absorbs into the body. It's also got vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, copper, and boron, these minerals that our body needs. And I love to take these together. So this is really, these 3 are probably, if you want to just get a start, I would get these 3 to get yourself started. And then add in the ylang-ylang, clary sage, and geranium as you go. And I love it on the bottom of the feet. Would this work for teen boys? Yes, because they're exposed to xenoestrogens majorly. I would absolutely use it on teen boys on their big toe. They could even take the phytoestrogen supplement, because again, all it's doing is kicking out that xenoestrogens, because it starts producing xenoestrogens in male bodies as well. When they're using like microwave plastics and parabens and pesticides, they start producing estrogen. It's not good. So absolutely, I would use this with boys. And then the clary stuff, you can put that on their big toe at night, diffuse it, helps too, because it travels through the brain through neural olfactory pathways. These are amazing tools that you guys have. And one last thing and one tip just on the clary sage and the geranium, I love these in my hair. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite. And geranium, because I get like dry hair from like the ocean out here from surfing and stuff. So geranium is a very moisturizer for the hair. So what a better way, like for your hair, softness, and for your hormones, to put it on your hair. So I just do 1 drop in my hand. I'm going to show you. And then rub your hands together and just put it in your hair. That's it. It doesn't even make your hair oily, because again, remember, doTERRA's oils are not oily. They are so pure. They do not have synthetics or fillers, or they don't have some other compound that's making them oily. So these are some of the great tips. I'm going to just share one last story, and I answer a couple questions. So I had this lady that was sitting next to me in church one day, and I remember, luckily I always carry my Clary Calm on me, and she, just putting the rest on my hair here. She was sitting next to me, and she was sweating profusely, like so bad. And she was so embarrassed. I felt so bad for her. And she kept looking over me. She's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I'm going through menopause. And she was just dripping wet. And I had the bottle of Clary Calm on me. And I said, you could try this. I mean, I didn't know. I haven't gone through menopause. I didn't know if it would work, but I know it works for me in those moments where I'm just not feeling a little hormonal. And I just put it right here. And I said, just try this. Put it on your, pulse points on your neck. And she's like, huh? What is that? So it's a plant that helps with, balancing estrogen. So she puts it on her neck. And then about 5 minutes, I would say, went by. And it's like she just calmed down. Her sweating stopped. Her skin went back to normal, and she looks over at me and she goes, what is that stuff? I said, it's essential oils. And she was so amazed. She said, I've never used anything that helps to like stop her hot flash. And so she came over the next day and got this whole natural solutions kit of oils, because she had a lot of different things she wanted to work on with her wellness goals. And so I suggest to you, if this is somewhere you want to start with, maybe hormone balancing or just any other wellness goals, talk to the person who invited you or talk to me. Let's help you get started. And if you already have a doTERRA account, you can order all this stuff on your loyalty rewards. I do an order every single month, because it gives me all these points back, and I replace all this stuff in my home with non-toxic, just pure, you know, supplements and hand soaps and toothpaste. It's just amazing. So I'm going to just finish up with answering some questions because I know we've gone over 20 minutes. This was a lot of stuff to put into one. So let's see your topics. You put mine on your belly. That's awesome, Sonia. I did that for a while, and when I do the Clary Calm, and I know I've heard it helps people with cramps. It didn't help my cramps. Wintergreen helps my cramps, but it didn't work for me for hormone balancing on my belly. It worked on the bottom of the big toe because I had tried the belly for me for that. And so the brain is where your hormones are produced in the high pituitary gland in the brain. So that's why you want the big toe. So let's see. Let me get a question about your son freaks out when you put oils on him. He's 15 and has trouble with focus. Stephanie, you're saying, and hormonal. So what I would recommend is, again, doing a regimen like this on his big toe will really help with that. If he has, I mean, if he's going to freak out when you put it on, it's hard to get it on, but I would diffuse something then. Serenity would be a good one to diffuse. You could even diffuse geranium and lang lang and lavender. Diffuse that around him to try to help him calm down. And then for focus, there's a focus blend called In Tune, and that helps so much in school or, you know, if doing homework. I love it. So Stephanie, that might be a good one to try, is the focus one. And then diffusing until you can get it on him, like on the back of the spine is a good place for people who don't want to smell the oils. I just say put it on the back of the neck, which is like the occipital point. So good question. Let's see. And I had a, let me look at my notes here for the cholesterol question. Okay. So cholesterol has to do, my notes here, it talks about cholesterol has, sorry, I'm blocking that other with my iPad, has to do for hormones because it communicates to the cell the xenoestrogens and interrupts the cholesterol production. So I have to look more into it about that, but it's those xenoestrogens, those synthetic chemicals that start to mock different things in the body. And so and they're endocrine disruptors, which plays in part into cholesterol. If that answers, I think Angelique asked that question. So another question I have, let's see, Brianna. No, okay, so do you have any concern about the supplements derived from yeast and the phytoestrogens and in the bone nutrient complex? No, so there's different ways that they do fermentation process to help those supplements be more bioavailable for the body, and one of the ways is in yeast. And I can't remember their exact response, but you can email productsupport@doterra.com and ask them specifically about that. But it's actually one of the healthier ways to allow those the phytoestrogens and the vitamins and all those types of things to be bioavailable for the body. That's the best way I can explain it, but I would email productsupport@doterra.com to get more specific information on that. Good question, Brianna. Let's see, can you mix the three together and then put them on the bottom of the feet and big toes? So Janet, that's a good question. You can mix oils. It's not a problem, but there is, when you mix them liquid-wise on your hand or in something, they bind to each other, and so it may change what they do for you or what amount they do. So I recommend, honestly, layering. Layering just allows you the complete chemistry that you're expecting from these. And doTERRA, the thing that they're doing is they study how, when they blend things, what changes in the chemistry, what order they blend them in, how much they blend, and then what it produces in effect. So that's why, like your Clary Calm, they've already studied how and what order, how much of each of these plants so that it produces the best effect for a phytoestrogen. And so that's why I recommend layering or buying it's not bad to combine yourself, but if you just really want the best effect, buy their blends or layer. Yeah, so Angelique says she only layers unless it's a blend for us. I agree, and it's not going to be bad. It just might not be the potent that you're looking for. So, yep, you're welcome, everybody. Looks like that was our questions. We've got one more question over here, and then we'll submit a 30-minute one. It's been a good one. I love this subject. So, let's see. That's asking about hot flashes, that you tried the phytoestrogen and cleansing, the parabens, et cetera, and it's still not working. So you've tried some different things, it's still not working. So you'd probably want to look at making sure you're cutting out xenoestrogens. Looks like you did that. I would also look at a lot of things with gut health. I don't have the exact answer because there's probably a lot more questions I would need to ask you about what's going on. But I would look at gut health and doing some different gut regimens and cleansing that as well, and maybe just trying these 3 to be simple at it, and trying the oils before going back on the phytoestrogen. Sounds like there's a lot more stuff going on, so it's going to be hard for me over this little computer thing to give you a good answer. But whenever I have stuff like that, I go into gut health, and I just do a really good regimen of Digest, Zen, and Lemon daily, just regularly, all day long. Lemon, and then 3 times a day I do the Digest Zen after I eat, and then Terrazyme, and just doing all those gut things, because you know the gut is huge in producing everything with our body and having an effect on everything in our body. So Lifelong Vitality Pack, that would be what I would mainly suggest. Digest Zen, Lemon, Terrazyme, and Lifelong Vitality Pack for when there's just unresolved things like that, Marcia. Okay, everybody, I hope that Whisper Blend. Yes, Whisper Blend does contain some phytoestrogens as well. And so that's a great one to try. That actually, Whisper was another one I didn't grab it out, but that one helped my mother when she was having hot flashes, and she wouldn't even have to put it on her. She would just open the bottle and smell it, and it was like it would calm it down. So absolutely, it's the jasmine and other things that are in there. So awesome, everybody. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I'm seeing your text come in, and we will see you next week on the Product Talk Tuesday. And I don't know what we should talk about next Tuesday. So any suggestions as you're watching this, type it in your chat box, and we'll see. We'll choose a subject from you guys. So tell me what products you want to talk about next Tuesday. Have a good night. Have a good day. Bye.